Okay, class, let's start the lesson by talking about CPI. CPI stands for Consumer Price Index. It's determined by tracking the prices of a chosen group of common goods from particular stores over a period of time. The average of the change in price of all of the chosen goods is the CPI. It helps to track changes in the cost of living over time.
I can't take this anymore. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go learn it in the real world and come back and ace this test.
Puppet, don't you go anywhere. You've been warned.
I have told you a number of times you cannot leave this building without permission. Listen to me when I talk to you, Puppet. I don't know if that's your real name, but that's what I'm going with for now. Don't look at me like that. I'm trying to be serious here. You will stay in this building until the bell rings. Any questions? You can go now, but go quietly. Got it? Good.
Puppet, didn't Mr. Pernick tell you not to leave this building? This is unacceptable. I'm gonna have your parents up here. You're looking at a suspension for at least a week. Do you understand me? Go back to class, Puppet.
Forget this. I gotta get out of here. I gotta be on the lookout for Mr. Miller. Coast is clear. Well, I can't think of a better place to learn about econ than a bank. Let's see if this machine can teach me anything about the economy. But I don't really think this is going to help. Let's go ask somebody inside the bank. Excuse me, ma'am. Do you know what GDP is?
Well, in fact, I do, Puppet. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. The GDP is the quantitative measure of the nation's total income. However, the real GDP is an inflation-adjusted measure that reflects the value of all goods and services produced in a given year. GDP accounts for consumption, government spending, gross investment, and net exports. If the GDP is up, then the consumption and all other aspects of GDP are up as well.
Oh, I see. Thank you, banker.
Wait, Puppet, there might be more information you want to know. The current GDP went up by 2.1% from second quarter to third quarter. We're in third quarter now. Also, the U.S. economy is growing at a sustainable rate because the compound annual rate of change has been under 5%.
This is so interesting. Thanks.
But wait, Puppet, there's more. If the U.S. economy is growing faster than the long-run sustainable rate, the Fed should raise interest rates slowly and not immediately.
Let's go see what else I can learn. Hello, homeless person. Why are you out here on the streets?
I lost my job and now I can't afford to stay in my house. I also got kicked out of my house because I didn't study for my econ test. I'm confused about what it all means, so my mom told me to hit the streets.
My econ teacher told me that unemployment rate is low. Why can't you find a job?
I had a job I loved. I worked at Bath & Robbins and I got free ice cream. But then I was fired and I haven't looked for another job since.
Oh, so you are a discouraged worker. You are not included in the unemployment rate. You should try to find a job. We are operating on or near the natural rate of unemployment, which was recently measured as 5.05%. But this is a lagging indicator, so it's a surprise that the current numbers are. So you should be able to find a job pretty easily. Good luck! Sally the Sock, is that you? Oh my goodness. Excuse me, do you know how much the Capri Suns are?
No, sorry, I don't even work here.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then, can I ask you another question? What is the current outlook on the economy?
pretty good. I saw on the news today that the stock indexes are down, and well, that's not too good, but the energy prices are low.
What is a stock index?
A stock index is the measurement taken by a sampling of stocks to help people on Wall Street determine this return on specific investments. May I ask why you are asking?
Because you are a customer, and if customer confidence is up, then the demand curve will shift, which means that the quantity of goods will increase.
Wow, that's great. I just start my holiday shopping early then. I'll take 30 of these. Hello, sir. Will that be all?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so the total comes to $3.50.
The economy has been looking really good recently. My mom even raised my allowance to allow me to get these. Maybe now that the unemployment rate is down, I can get a job like you and make even more money. Then I'll be contributing to the total non-farm payment totals. I wonder how the government even knows who has jobs and how much they make anyways.
Oh, I know. Each month, the Current Employment Statistics, otherwise known as the CES, program surveys businesses and government agencies in order to provide detailed industry data on employment hours and earnings of workers on non-farm payrolls.
That makes so much sense. But what do the trends in payroll employment tell us about the current output gap and economic activity anyways?
If the total non-farm payroll trending upwards above average, that would mean that there would be a great deal of economic activity and that the output gap is most likely close to zero and the economy is operating at full efficiency. When there has been a negative total non-farm payroll enrollment in the past, it has signaled a recession, which would lead to a negative output gap.
Well, thanks for helping me. Now I really understand total non-farm payment totals.
All right, thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Let's go see what I can learn about in here. I might as well check some out.
Hi, welcome to Durable Goods. How can I help you?
Oh, hello. Wait, why are you so low?
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to be on your level.
Oh, that's okay. So what exactly are durable goods?
A durable good is something that could yield utility over time, and it's not just good for a one-time use.
Can you show me some examples of some durable goods?
For example, a Kindle. It's good for over time. A coffee maker. Some headphones. And a teapot.
I guess it's time to go back to school and use all this econ information I learned to help me in class. Now I know everything!
Okay, class, pop quiz.
I got this! The federal funds rate is the interest rate that banks with excess reserves at their Federal Reserve District Bank charge to other banks that need overnight loans. The federal funds rate varies with the purchasing or selling of treasuries and/or bonds, which is done by the Fed, aka monetary policy makers. The purchasing of bonds lowers the federal funds rate and as a result increases the money supply and interest rate, the real GDP, and decreases unemployment if the Fed sells bonds and the federal funds rate is lowered. As a result, there is a decrease in money supply, interest rate, and real GDP, and an increase in unemployment. The approximate current level of the effective federal funds rate is 0.12. It has been this way since November 2015.
The unemployment rate is the percentage of paid workforce who is currently not working and are in the process of looking for a job. Full-time students are only considered unemployed if they are looking for a job and are not currently employed. Retired people are not considered in the unemployment rate because they are not looking for jobs. A person who has given up looking for a job is considered a discouraged worker and is not included in the unemployment rate either. The natural rate of unemployment is the amount of unemployment that will occur even if there is no cyclical unemployment. At this point, the economy is considered to be operating at its full potential. If the economy has a rate of unemployment higher than the natural rate, that means there is an output gap that exists and resources are not being utilized efficiently. This occurs during a recession. The CPI stands for Consumer Price Index. It is determined by tracking the prices of a chosen group of common goods from a particular source over a period of time. The average of the change in price of all of the chosen goods is the CPI. It helps to track changes in the cost of living over time. The PCE stands for Personal Consumption Expenditures. Unlike with the CPI, the PCE takes into account the changes in the items being consumed as price level changes. The PCE is a fairly predictable measure of the economy that has no real impact on the markets. Headline inflation is taken by comparing the CPI of a given month to the CPI of a base year. It includes all items chosen for the market basket, so it doesn't account for the ever-changing food and oil prices. It also doesn't account for the seasonal price differences. Core inflation removes the oil prices and food prices, making it a much more reliable indicator. As of November 2014, the headline inflation rate was lower than the core inflation rate, meaning that there's a very low inflation or even disinflation on food and energy prices because they have to have brought down the inflation rate. The output gap is a measure of the difference between the economy's potential output and the current level of output. If the real output is greater than the potential output, prices will rise in response to the demand. If the potential output is greater than the actual output, prices will fall. The current output gap is negative, indicating that the potential output is greater than the actual output, so there's low inflation. During the Great Recession, the output gap increased severely. The potential GDP was over 1,000 points higher than the real GDP. Since the recession, the output gap has been narrowing and the inflation rate has been going down. The CPI has increasingly fairly steadily. GDP is the gross domestic product. It is the quantitative measure of the nation's total economic income. Real GDP is an inflation-adjusted measure that reflects the value of all goods and services produced in a given year, expressed in base year prices. Potential GDP is the measurement of what GDP output could be at full employment with the utilization of all an economy's resources. Each month, the Current Employment Statistics (CES) program surveys approximately 143,000 businesses and government agencies, representing approximately 588,000 individual workers, in order to provide detailed industry data on employment hours and earnings of workers on non-farm payrolls.